Martin Ellison, a dedicated consultant, lived a structured yet lonely life, haunted by the tragic loss of his wife and daughter. Each day blended into the next work meals, until one cold November night, everything changed. After a late meeting, he stopped by a small diner for a quick meal. As he stepped outside, the night air bit at his skin. He was about to unlock his car when a faint, almost imperceptible sound reached his ears. A baby's cry. At first he dismissed it as a trick of the wind, but then it came again, weak, pleading. His pulse quickened as he scanned the dimly lit parking lot. Something tugged at him, an instinct he couldn't ignore. He followed the sound, his breath visible in the frigid air, until he reached a worn wooden bench near the diner's side entrance. And there, wrapped in only a thin blanket, was a baby girl. His heart clenched. How could someone leave a child alone, in the freezing cold? Kneeling, he hesitated, for only a second, before scooping her into his arms. The moment she felt his warmth, her cries quieted. Tiny dark eyes met his, wide and trusting, as if she instinctively knew she was safe. Martin stood frozen, the weight of the child pressing against his chest, but something else pressed deeper. One he thought would never heal. He had once been a father, now he was just a man, trying to keep himself from drowning in his grief. She needed him. At home, Martin's longtime housekeeper, Kathleen, gasped as he walked in carrying the baby. "Oh, Martin," she whispered, taking the little girl into her arms, with the gentleness of a mother. She cleaned and fed her, while Martin, still shaken, contacted the authorities. Days passed, then weeks. No missing child reports matched her description. No one came forward. It was as if she had been left for fate to decide her future. Fate had chosen Martin. At first he told himself he was just looking after her, until a suitable home was found. But each time he held her, each time she reached for him, with tiny fingers, the empty spaces in his heart seemed to shrink. He named her Ava. He told himself it was temporary. By the time she was 7 months old, Martin knew he couldn't let her go. He filed for adoption, enduring background checks, home visits, and long bureaucratic delays. But when the final papers arrived, declaring him her father, he felt something he hadn't in years. Ava grew into a bright, curious child. Martin told her the truth, in ways she could understand, that she had been left on a cold night, but was never abandoned, because he had found her. "I wasn't your father at first, but you became my daughter, and I am forever grateful." She accepted it with a child's simple trust, never doubting for a second that she was loved. Years passed. Martin slowed down his traveling, choosing to work closer to home. Ava thrived, excelling in school, making friends, dreaming big. By her teenage years, she spoke of becoming an architect, of designing spaces that made people feel safe and whole. One day, Martin found an old drawing she had made in 3rd grade, a simple picture of a smiling father and daughter. The father had Martin's brown hair, and beside him stood a girl with shining eyes and a wide grin. At the bottom, in large uneven letters, she had written, "Me and Daddy are best friends." He stared at it for a long time, his throat tightening. He had lost a family once, and somehow, life had given him another chance. At 18, Ava left for college on a scholarship, studying architecture, just as she had dreamed. Though the house was quieter than it had been in years, Martin cheered her on, never letting her see how much he missed her. "Go," he told her. "Become everything you dream. I'll always be here." She did just that. By 21, she had landed a prestigious internship at a renowned design firm. At 22, she was fully licensed and earning recognition for her unique ability to blend warmth with modern design. But in her heart, she carried a quiet mission, one she had been planning for years. Ava searched for months, until she found the perfect piece of land. She poured herself into designing a home, not just any home, but one built with a purpose. Brick walls to stand strong, wide windows to welcome light, a cozy study filled with books, and a greenhouse. Because Martin had once told her he wanted to grow tomatoes someday. She said nothing as she worked, her colleagues praising the design. When they asked who it was for, she simply smiled. Then one day, she asked Martin to take a drive with her. "Close your eyes," she said. As they stepped out of the car, he chuckled but obeyed, letting her lead him by the elbow. After a few steps, she stopped. Before him stood a house, beautiful, sturdy, welcoming. His breath caught, but it was the plaque near the entrance that made his vision blur. "For my father, who found me when I was lost." A lump formed in his throat as he turned to Ava, who stood smiling through unshed tears. "Dad," she said softly, "this is your home. I designed it for you, with everything you love. I wanted you to have a place that reminds you every day of how much you mean to me." His voice failed him. Instead he reached for her, pulling her into a trembling embrace. "You saved me," she whispered, "more than I ever saved you." He swallowed hard. No, Ava, we saved each other. As they walked through the home, he marveled at every thoughtful touch, a reading nook, spacious hallways, a small garage for his tinkering projects. Everywhere, he saw love. And as they stood by the large picture window, watching the sun dip beneath the horizon, Martin realized something. Once, on a cold November night, he had found a child abandoned, on a bench, and now, that child had built him a home, a testament to love, to second chances, to the miracles that can be born from a single act of kindness.